Alabama, because they played on Sunday against Florida, and then they play Wednesday night in a big win for them over Texas A&M at home, they will have played 2 games since Auburn had last played their game. And I wonder how much that's going to have an impact in this game on Saturday, because we know how Alabama likes to play. Play as fast as humanly possible on offense, take a ton of shots, run and gun, and they're very well drilled in that, obviously. I wonder, though, physically, even though Auburn's not as deep in their rotation as Alabama is, Alabama's had to do more over this past week to get to this point. Meanwhile, Auburn has been able to rest, refocus, refuel, get ready for this game. And I wonder how much of that we're going to see that on Saturday, because I do think Auburn's best chance of winning this basketball game is taking the fight to Alabama and being the more physical team, being the tougher team, and letting Auburn's strengths really sing over letting Alabama control the way that this game goes. I thought Sebastian Williams-Adams on Thursday made a really good point in that he felt like against Tennessee, Auburn lost kind of the intentionality, as he said, from some of the games they had won in that winning streak. And it was about getting back to that. And he like, very, very good quote here. He said, we've been doing well playing the style of basketball against Florida that we played against Florida. We suffered some big losses playing the way we played against Tennessee. And so, like, for Auburn, can you get back to the things that made you successful at Florida, at Ole Miss, coming back against Texas? Can you do that in this game? Because that's an area where, as good as Alabama is as a basketball team this season, they are not built to play that way for Auburn. And so can Auburn, with fresher legs, you would think, be able to kind of control the pace of the game, the flow of the game that way?
What I'm curious to see, especially after the way the Tennessee game played out, is how much of that has to do with Auburn and how much of that has to do with both Tennessee's physicality and the plan that Tennessee had.
Their
going
defense
into,
forces threes, you to take threes, and Auburn obliged them. They just did it way too much.
But I wonder how often, considering, and we say it, I've said it before, like, during the season, it's safe to say you are what you've been the last 5-6 games or so. I can understand why teams are going to take the approach of make Auburn beat you hitting their threes. Make Auburn hit jump shots to beat you. Pack the paint and sort of dare Auburn to be more successful than they've been. Now, keep in mind, Auburn did hit in that second half against Texas.
Yeah.
And Auburn finished, Auburn finished that game above 50%.
Right.
From three.
But also it's easier said than done. Well, we even saw that Florida couldn't do that. And then when you look at this Alabama team, this is an Alabama team that
this is where the asterisk, right, as far as when you're breaking down you're breaking down the Alabama team.
So they're not as built inside as they have been in the past, and even with Charles Bediako, again with the asterisk of, like, is Charles Bediako going to play? I think so. However, I do think the news Thursday that Greg Sankey, making a petition to say Bediako shouldn't be eligible, let's hold up what we've established as the rules here.
Let's hold that line
as
of NCAA
as part of the
amateurism.
filing, as part of the filing for the NCAA and about this deal that comes out on this hearing that comes on Friday. We'll see about that. Again, I would be surprised if Bediako doesn't play, just because I just think that it's a lot of this stuff, until there's something hard and fast implemented, this is just going to you're going to keep kicking the can down the road. Even with Bediako, we have seen this Alabama basketball team struggle at times to rebound, especially on the defensive glass. They still block shots, not as much as they blocked a ton of shots, I think, in non-con play, not as much recently in conference play. And,